Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to dive into the world of process improvement. We'll break down exactly what it takes to get a lean Six Sigma yellow belt and, become a real force for efficiency where you work. Let's get right into it.
Every good story has a villain, right? Well, in the business world, the villains are things like inefficiency, waste, and all that variation that just drives customers crazy. They slow everything down, they cost a ton of money. But hey, where there are villains, you've got to have heroes, people who are actually equipped to fight back. And that, right there, brings us to the hero of our story today, the Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt. So let's figure out who they are and what they're all about.
So, what exactly is a yellow belt? Well, to put it simply, it's someone who has a really solid grip on the basics of Lean Six Sigma. This means they're in the perfect spot to either run their own smaller improvement projects or jump in as a super valuable team member on those bigger, more complicated initiatives that green belts or black belts are leading.
Okay, so this kind of breaks down what a yellow belt does day to day, and you can see they wear a lot of hats. They might be a subject matter expert, or SME, someone who knows a specific process inside and out. Or they could be the one leading smaller projects, and of course, supporting the higher belts. But the one thing that ties it all together is their use of this awesome problem-solving method called DMAIC. And don't worry, we're going to get to that in just a bit. All right, so if you're thinking this sounds pretty cool, the very first step on your path to becoming an efficiency hero is picking how you're actually going to train.
You've pretty much got two main options here, and each one has its own perks. On-site or virtual training is awesome because it's tailored directly to your company, and the instructors can help you apply the tools to projects you're actually working on. Then you've got the online on-demand route, which gives you total freedom to learn whenever you want. But here's the key difference you gotta know. The on-site training is project-based for certification, while the online path needs you to complete both a project and an exam. Every hero needs a utility belt, right? A set of go-to gadgets for any situation. Well, for a yellow belt, that utility belt is absolutely packed with powerful analytical tools, all designed to make the invisible, well, visible. This really gets to the heart of the training. Think about it. So much amazing knowledge is just locked up inside the heads of experts. The whole goal here is to unlock it, to get all that great info out of their heads and onto a visual map so the whole team can see it, talk about it, and figure out how to make it better. And here is that arsenal of tools. And believe me, these aren't just fancy buzzwords. They are specific tools for seeing problems clearly. For instance, a SIPOC diagram gives you that big picture view of a process. A fishbone diagram? That helps you brainstorm every single possible cause of a problem. And a spaghetti map? This one's fun. It literally tracks how people or parts move around, so you can spot and get rid of wasted motion. Each one is a weapon in your fight against inefficiency. Okay, you've picked your training path, you've got your new tools, now it's time for the ultimate challenge, the certification quest. This is where you take everything you've learned and use it to solve a real-world problem. And every single project follows the same roadmap, the DMAIC framework. It's a super logical 5-step sequence. First, you define the problem. Then you measure how things are now. You analyze the data to find out what's really going on. Then you improve the process with smart solutions. And finally, you control it to make sure all your hard work actually sticks. It's your step-by-step guide from problem to problem solved. And get this, you are definitely not alone on this quest. As part of the training, every student gets 180 days. That's a full half a year of project mentorship from a master black belt. And it's at no extra cost. Their whole job is to help guide you to the finish line and make sure your project is a huge success. So, you finished the journey, you conquered your project. What's the payoff? What rewards are waiting for you in your career? Well, first off, you become incredibly valuable. When you show you're committed to making the organization better and you have the tools to prove it, you open up doors to new roles, promotions, and better pay. You're not just doing a job anymore, you're actively improving the business. This certification also makes your resume just pop. Let's be real, in a tough job market, showing that you have a systematic, data-driven way to solve problems makes you a total standout. It tells employers that when things go wrong, you don't just guess what to do, you analyze. And finally, you become absolutely essential to team success. Sure, black belts and green belts are key for leading big projects, but what we hear time and time again is that it's the yellow belts who are on the ground, getting things done. You're the support and the expert knowledge that can make or break a project. Look, at the end of the day, earning a yellow belt isn't just about a piece of paper. It's about getting a whole new way of looking at the world and a powerful set of skills to make a real, measurable difference. It gives you the power to fix what's broken. Which really just leaves one last question. What's the first thing you're going to fix?